See, the thunder that will fire some of these media houses, am I calling them media houses? The thunder that will fire some of these bloggers, Western bloggers who call themselves media houses, that thunder is doing arm pressing. 1, 2, 1,
God have
2,
mercy
1,
upon us.
2. Look, the report of the Human Rights Watch, which they claim Burkina Faso military is buying civilians more than there's individuals in the Sahel. The Burkinabè government rejected the claim, and I delay with this particular topic because I waited to see how BBC will put it out there, the rejection of the government. But shout out to TRT. You know, TRT was able to put it in such a way that, let me give you the headline of TRT. Listen to the headline. Burkina Faso rejects Human Rights Watch fake claims of mass killings. Can we read that again? Burkina Faso rejects Human Rights Watch fake claims of mass killing. Even TRT noticed and realized that this claim is false. So the headline is telling you that this report is false. Now, when you go to BBC right now, watch the headline. Burkina Faso rejects report that over 1,800 civilians killed since Jota seized power. And then they continue. Now, when you read down to the things BBC listed, BBC simply is pushing the narrative on the Burkinabè government that, of course, that they say that the claim is not true, but truly, this is what is going on. When you read it, I read it entirely. When you read it, this is exactly what they put out there. Now, the Human Rights Watch, in their report, I'm going to quote 1 or 2 lines for you. I'll paste it on the, you see something there. In Ghana, we need to be very careful. I'm sorry, but the Fulani communities who came out and said that they are not included, and therefore, if you don't take time, we'll see what is happening in the Sahel, happening in, Ghana. The truth of the matter is that when they start, the moment they pick up arms, these guys will back them up. These guys giving the report about Burkina Faso will back them up. You will agree with me after I quote the things they say in their report. Okay, so let me read, the government of Burkina Faso, the things they said. The government of Burkina Faso, after the report of these guys online claiming that Burkina Faso government is responsible for more deaths of civilians than this group, the government of Burkina Faso, they pull out a statement. I'm going to read that. They rejected the report, which was published. This report particular was published on 2nd April 2026 by Human Rights Watch concerning the human rights situation in the country of Burkina Faso. So they consider the report as very completely inaccurate, and this report by the Human Rights Watch does not reflect the reality on the ground. And this is a report that they have been recycling every time. I can show you multiple data of how the Human Rights Watch has been recycling this data on and on with, claims that doesn't have head, neither do they have beard to even begin with. Now, to make the whole thing worse, the authority of Burkina Faso made it clear straight up that the Human Rights Watch, this particular Human Rights Watch, who they have always been recycling these topics every day, they do not have a physical presence or office in Burkina Faso. And do you know what? These people in their report, they use people like us, our own black brothers and sisters, writing script for them, and then they will come and face camera and read it to damage their own continent. That is how bad the situation is. If you don't have a physical presence and or office in Burkina Faso, the question is how, this raised concern about how the information and the report was gathered by these individuals. This is what the government of Burkina Faso pulled out. When they pulled this out, TRT published it immediately. BBC took a long while. This is the reason why I took my time to do the video, because I was waiting for them to pull this thing out. Let me see how they are going to pull it out. Let me see how they are going to report it. And then, I was not wrong. Now, this is what the government said. The government of Burkina Faso, this is their press release, yeah? The government of Burkina Faso has learned through the media about a first report published on 2nd April 2026 by the NGO Human Rights Watch about the human rights situation in Burkina Faso. This report, which according to its author covered the period of 2023 to 2025, is made up of guesses and serious claims that have no proof, something Human Rights Watch often does. This is not the first time. Even if you can see on your screen, you can see the dates surrounding the report that these people give about accusing the Burkina Faso government of spying civilians. They went on further to say the government is not surprised by the action of this so-called NGO. We are not surprised. See, it is not only the government of Burkina Faso rejecting this claim. We, the entire Burkinabès, together with the rest of Africa continent, majority on the continent, we are saying that this is not true. This is a lie. The government is not surprised by the action of this so-called NGO, which is completely out of touch with what is really happening on the ground and has no office or presence in Burkina Faso. It regularly, pay attention to this aspect. That is why I line up some things on the screen for you to see their dates. They regularly, this is not the first time, all right? This Human Rights Watch regularly repeat claims from selected individuals who receive money for it or money from it. So it's a profitable business right there. It's a profitable business. That's why when you see some of the bloggers carrying out this whole thing, some of them, they are being paid and all that. So no this and no peace. So it's regular repeat this claim from selected individuals who receive money from it, because they'll come and interview you, pay you, we pay you to say certain things and then we'll give you money. Because of hardship, people can do anything at all. And in return, it gives material to support it, imagine and made up stories. Now, this document, which reflects deep hostility from a group of forces against our people's fight for freedom and sovereignty, is supported by misleading media that promote it using exaggerated languages and clearly dishonest arguments. France 24, you have missed call. BBC, you have missed call. Where are they? DW, you have missed call. Name them. Now, the weak method, I would say this weak method. The weak method, unclear details, and shortcuts used have only one goal: to present Burkinabè patriot and our defense forces negatively to international community in order to serve a harmful goal driven by outside interests against our country. The government of Burkina Faso, right? The government remained calm in the face of these actions, which show the frustration of neo-colonial and imperial forces. Yes, this is clearly frustration. If you can see Emmanuel Macron, you know the work, this time, you know the work, try harder. Somebody write in the comment section, try harder. So, they are frustrated, the thing is not working. They started from the European Union Parliament, is not working. Which showed the frustration of neo-colonial and imperialist forces described as supporters of insecurity in our country and in the Sahel. I told you countless times, the Sahel, they know those who support the insecurity in their country. Now, through Human Rights Watch, they try to place the blame for serious acts on our defense and security forces and our volunteers for the defense of the homeland, that's the VDP. Even though, according to the government, these forces are not responsible, this action is part of a wider plan to use human rights issues for political purposes, aiming to weaken the effort of the Burkinabè people in dealing with insecurity. The government strongly states that Burkinabè fighters have always acted professionally, and their mission is first to protect lives, defend human rights, and protect vulnerable people. The government reminds everyone that the fight against insecurity is a top national priority and is carried out with full respect for national laws and Burkina Faso's international commitment on human rights. It remains committed and determined to continue this fight in all forms, whether through direct action or through report like this one, the Human Rights Watch. In all cases, the government keeps the right to take firm action against organizations it believes are working against the country's interests. A free and sovereign Burkina Faso will continue moving forward to build a future of dignity and freedom in line with the true wishes of its people. This is a statement released by the Burkinabè Authority in respect to the report given by this Human Rights Watch. Now, when you go to BBC, TRT puts it in the right way. When you read the report on TRT, first of all, in their headline, they have already condemned the claim and call it a fake claim. Burkina Faso's reject Human Rights Watch fake claims of mass killing. Now, when you come down, they only reported the things the government said. So in their reportage, they somehow, in a way, lean on the government side against this false claim. That's why I said from the beginning that shout out to TRT Africa. Now, go to BBC and see something. When you go to BBC right now, you are going to see they don't want to make it look like the government is not guilty. They want to pinpoint everything on the government. They put a lot of more details here that cannot be confirmed. I told you they always do everything to undermine the forces of Burkina Faso or the Sahel. Look at something here. And they always make it look like the path Burkina Faso is going on is not working. Look at the conclusion of their message. Burkina Faso, like its neighbor Mali and Niger, which are also under military rule, has moved away from working with Western countries, especially France, and its fight against the Islamic group. All three have instead turned towards Russia for military assistance. However, the violence has continued unabated. They're telling you that it's not working. This is how they always conclude their message. Yeah. Now, let's find out something from the Human Rights Watch. That is why I was pointing you to this Fulani group in Ghana who were threatening us that if we don't include them, we are going to have a problem. When you go to their report, which the title, what was the title? Yeah, none can run away. You gump down straight. The title of one this thing, the slide is the Fulani question, right? The Fulani question. So somehow, anyhow, you know, this Fulani group, one way or the other, we all know that when we look at this whole thing happening around on the continent of Africa, where we are all talking about it, they have become the center of the conversation. Do you understand? So listen to the things they put out here. The Fulani question. The Fulani people who are spread across the Sahel region make up about 8% of the population of Burkina Faso. Historically, they have been cattle herders and are predominantly Muslim. Government forces and VDPs accuse Fulani people of supporting these, TT individuals. While the TT group has focused its recruitment effort on disaffected, listen to the word they are using, very, very coded. They are sympathizing with the people that they are recruiting into this thing. On disaffected youth in the Fulani community, exploiting the continual degradation of the Fulani people's pastoralist livelihood and the communities underrepresentation in the government and military. They are blaming the fact that these Fulani guys are being recruited. They are blaming it on the fact that they are underrepresented in the government and in the military. I mean, what's the meaning of this? They are blaming the government for people who are being recruited to carry arms and be going around. Can you imagine? That is a blame right there. They know how to write articles to shift blame. Government forces have often failed to distinguish between armed Fulani combatants and civilian members of this community. Now, same thing they are doing in, Nigeria. When this group, they go and then face a village and do whatever they have to do, then they will say a clash between village and headsmen. They are advocating for the headsmen. To them, these are civilians. So they being recruited is the fact that they are not included in the government. Can you imagine that? Same thing. This is similar to what the Fulanis were giving us warning in Ghana here, that if we don't give them recognition in Ghana, we are going to see what is happening in the Sahel, what is happening in the distance. Do you know that Burkina Faso leader called the Fulani community and advised them before? Yes. Just as I advised the Muslim community how they quickly united against this American citizen missionary in Nigeria, that he should be arrested when he was telling Christians to defend themselves. And I said that you people, if you can talk to your people who are shouting Allah Akbar up and down, there will be peace in Nigeria. Burkina Faso called them that, look, you people, when you look across, these T individuals, they are destroying your image. And when they are destroying your image, people are now afraid of you. Talk to your people, call your people to order. Because if we meet them on the terrain with weapons in their hands and they are harming Burkinabès, we cannot treat them as normal civilians. We need to protect Burkinabès. The only people who have the right to arm in the country is the military of Burkina Faso, the security forces of Burkina Faso. So he called them and asked the rest of the people to disassociate themselves from this activity so that they can live peacefully in Burkina Faso. But if they join this group, Kalaso, go be for you. If don't be for you, be that too. Bomb don't they? Bomb they or head be that too. So they are telling you that the government has failed to distinguish. It's not anything. If these people have upper hand, these NGOs profit. So their job is to protect them also. so that this banter can continue. They want to be calling it a clash instead of attack. Do you understand? I hope you are getting me right. Now, in February 2023, according to their report here, meeting with Fulani leaders, President TRAORE joined. The story I just told you, how he met them and spoke to them. Look at how they reported it. They thought we are not following. I followed this detail. I followed this detail. The things Ibrahim Traore said, I'll pay attention to every detail right there. Burkina Faso has become a grave concern to us. So we are paying detailed attention to everything right there. Listen, President Traore enjoined them to acknowledge that the epicenter of the tea activity in Sahel region is in the Fulani localities, adding that members of the Fulani community should call on their relatives to disassociate themselves from the forces of evil, which is, the T group. Otherwise, he said, we will throw all our forces into the battlefield and there will be lots of what? Buying, and it will be more complicated to your community. It is not fun to buy, but if one has no choice, it is to buy to save our people. You see how they coded it in? Meanwhile, Ibrahim Traore only told them that, look, if we meet these people in town, we are not going to negotiate with them. If we meet them on the field, they are buying our civilians. We cannot negotiate. We need to give justice to our civilians. So we treat them as they are. So disassociate yourself and live in peace. Everything that has to do with them, if you hear intel about them, report to us. Don't join them and collaborate with them. Don't allow yourself to be used as a shield to protect them. Disassociate yourself, make your stand clear, because we are on the journey to make sure that this nonsense stop in Burkina Faso. And you are coming out because they are quashing your activity in the region. You are coming out with report and blah, blah, blah. Look, somebody should tell them that it's not working. It is not working. So Burkina Faso, they make their stand clear. They say they are not surprised, just as we are not surprised. You wait. I give you like some few, how do you call it? Few months to come. When everything is calmed down, they will flame up with this particular topic again. Yes. And these media houses will carry it out again. This is not a new thing right there. So anyway, family, let me know your thought in the comment section. This outfit, Jesse, is from Afritude, all right? It was delivered to me in a very amazing package right there. Maybe I'm going to I'll attach that video to it. You should be watching out. It should be launching very soon. I'll update you on it, all right? So see you in the next episode. Respect.